Hey everybody, it's Julie and Brian from How We Cruise. We've been home for about 2 weeks now. I've edited a couple of videos and got them up to you guys. I'm sorry that they're not coming more quickly, but life. So here we are. We want to recap some of the best points and give you a taste of what's to come in some of the more videos that we're going to post.
Wanted to kind of just show you what it's like to cruise right now.
Yeah, what is it like to cruise right now?
We just got off Harmony of the Seas, Royal Caribbean's one of the Oasis class ships. It was the kids' first cruise. We surprised them with it for Christmas, so that was an adventure in and of itself. But just kind of wanted to go over a couple bullet points of what it's like to cruise right now. So day one, going through the terminal.
It was great. It was a breeze. Have your documents ready.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, Brian is great with that. He has everything in an envelope. He's got it right in the pocket of his backpack. He can pull it out. They do ask for them over and over and over again, especially for the kids. Mm-hmm. So we had to have them out and at the ready the entire time. But we got smooth.
As you'll see through our series of videos coming up, we ran into tons of spots where our kids are vaccinated, and to have their documentation ready to go made things a lot easier for us. So if that's your situation, make sure you have that out, because we ran into tons of situations during the week where people just kind of assumed the kids were not vaccinated, which kind of just made things, just an extra step and stuff for us. But went straight on board. Everything was super easy, right to the kids club, got booked their spots.
We went straight to the kids club. We literally got on the ship and went straight to the kids club. I think we were the first people.
We were the first people there. Got to say hi to Coco.
And there was a line that quickly got behind us.
Yep.
So do that. Because literally when you're the first, you have the pick of the times. And as soon as those time slots get filled up, that's it.
So there were 3,900 passengers on board, according to guest services. So they do have diminished capacity of everything, including the kids club. So they only let you pick a couple of times.
Right. They only let us do 3 times for the younger kids, 2 times for the older kids, because there's a higher demand for that. Mm-hmm. And they did tell us that on Wednesday they would open up more time slots.
Which they did.
Spoiler alert, our kids, as much as we expected them to absolutely love it, and we've heard wonderful things, and our experience was wonderful with the kids club, our kids actually didn't love it to the point where they wanted to keep going. So we didn't go back Wednesday. We didn't book extra times.
No, they just stayed with us.
But, they went, they enjoyed it, and it was what it was. So go straight there if you have kids. Second thing with traveling with kids is day one, our kids melted super fast.
A lot. It was bad.
It was fine. When I say they melted, they were just tired. They were exhausted. Their typical bedtime's between 7 and 8, and by 9:30, they were done.
Yes.
And then to try to get them to go down in bed in a new environment, in a new space, was extra challenging. Yeah. So, advice, make sure you have your for us, it's, bunnies and lammies, but make sure you have your loveys, your blankies, whatever you need to calm your kids, soothe your kids, and be ready to have a process, especially that first night. It got easier each night, but the first night was the biggest challenge.
But that said, the first night we did go see the Aqua Show, which did keep the kids' interest. Big Daddy's Hideaway Heist.
It was excellent.
Which we had been...
really entertaining.
Accolades reaching out. Hi, Lyra. Follow Lyra Synchro on Instagram and on YouTube there. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see her that week, but their show was great. You guys did awesome. Kept our kids' interest. They loved it. Hopefully we get some video of the kids' faces watching that show.
They were actually filming a little bit for us. So now we didn't film the show because we have little snippets that we can give you, little teasers, but we do want to respect
but we did
the show's, whatever, the rights to the show.
So they eventually did get to bed, and day 2 was a sea day. And I'll say, what's it like to cruise right now on a sea day? I'd say it's pretty normal. Hanging out by the pool, ice cream all day, pretty much just a typical sea day. But The one thing we did do that was a little different than what we're normally used to is we did, because the kids melted on the first day, we did take them back for a little rest before we went to dinner, because we like to use the main dining room. So I'll take this chance to say, hey to our friends Zip and Jefferson, like, we know you guys are watching. So main dining room was awesome for our kids. The staff couldn't have been better. The kids loved ordering for themselves, and you know, by day 2, you know, we ate there every night just because it was great for us. So
I know. Well, you know, and it's so awesome how so quickly people can feel like family that you just met, and in 7 days, we just want to say, Zip, Jefferson, Gianni, they were our wait staff. Thanks, guys. We had a great time. We think about you, and hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, we will. But let's jump into the ports, because we had 3 great ports on this trip. Well, 4 technically, but three ports of call other than Coco Cay. But day 3 was Cozumel, and kids were super jealous of the fact that on our last cruise, Julie and I went to Mr. Sancho's, so we had to go back to see Julio and the crew down at Mr. Sancho's. A little $23 cab ride, 5 people for $23, 4 people $17. A little cab ride down to Mr. Sancho's, all inclusive.
Now, if most cabs can fit up to 6 people. So if you have 6 people, you will pay the $23. So if you're 3 and 3, 4 and 2, whatever, you can split the cab, no problem. We're a family of 5. We weren't going to pick up one extra person, so $23 for us.
So that was good, and then we got back from that, and again, main dining room again for that. I'm
gonna rewind just really quick because we skipped over day 2. We were scheduled to see Greece.
Oh, that's right.
Greece was canceled because of quarantining crew. No biggie. They did reschedule us for day 5. In a couple minutes when we get to day 5, I'll explain what happened, because we had another show booked for day 5, so there was a little bit of scheduling conflict there, but ultimately on the evening of day 2,
they put a second show where they put a comedian.
They replaced it with the comedian that was on board, and we saw a family-friendly comedian show. Yeah. So anyway,
but that was good. And was that the day we bumped into Sarah?
Day 3 after Cozumel, we went to drop the kid. That was the evening that the kids had at the kids club.
Hi, Sarah.
So Brian was in the older kids, and Katie and Kev were in the younger kids. And yeah, we were like, yes, it was like our one and only night that we had no kids. So we went to the Rising Tide bar. On the way out of the kids club, we did bump into Sarah King. She's got her
just keep traveling with Sarah. Make sure you check her out.
Check her out. She's got a great channel going on. She's got good stuff going on. Wonderful person. So we enjoyed meeting her and her family.
Even got to enjoy a little casino time that night.
Yeah, and you know what? We came out ahead. So
there you go. But
we didn't win any free cruises or anything.
No, we're not there yet. But
we came out ahead, so it was a good time.
But day 4 was Roatan, Honduras, one of my favorite places. Also, I love those Western Caribbean itineraries. But this time, what we decided to do was we didn't book through the ship this time. Now, if you're traveling with unvaccinated kids, you do have to book excursions through the ship. And we did talk to several people on board who were traveling with unvaccinated kids, and they even said how easy it was to get off the ship just by booking the excursion through the ship. Our kids were vaccinated, like we said, so we hooked up with Charlie's Roatan Tours. Thank you to Charlie for hooking us up with Kevin. Kevin was fantastic, drove us all over the island all day, got to see pretty much all of true Roatan, which was fabulous.
Loved Roatan.
It was great.
I got to tell you, for as many years as I've cruised and as many places as I've been, that was our favorite port. It was our favorite excursion. It was our favorite tour. Thank you,
thank you
to
Charlie.
Kevin. Thank you to Charlie's Tours.
Yep. We'll have plenty of video for you guys for that one coming up. So
I can't wait for you guys to see that, because I can't wait to even watch it.
Oh, yeah,
we saw sloths, we saw monkeys, we saw beaches.
Oh, you gotta hang for that video, because I will guarantee you that we'll get the video of the monkey jumping on Julie's head, which the sounds that came out of that, and I'm not talking about the monkey. That was fantastic. So probably the highlight of my trip.
Thanks.
Sure.
I didn't choose that particular part.
Was for Katie.
Whatever. That was for Katie.
And she
All
loved
right.
it.
So anyway.
But
stay tuned.
Again, main dining room at night, and then come back day 5, circle back to Costa Maya. Costa Maya is one of the newer ports. People have said you can spend the entire day just in the port. They have tons of stuff in the port. And we kind of ran through the port, but I would love to spend more time in that port. It was a great port. But we did.
Well, we talked about this. We had a really, we'll tell you where we went, what we did really quickly, and you'll be able to see the video of what we did. But next time we go there.
Oh, yeah, we're staying in the port.
I would totally stay in the port because it was really cool. I mean, you know.
There was a pool,
similar
there was
to what like
chairs.
Coco Cay is, like, you know, not so much, but I mean, like, your drinks aren't included or whatever, but like pools and chairs and sands and restaurants
and dolphins and flamingos.
You weren't missing anything by hanging out in court.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That said, the aviary was supposed to be awesome, so I would do that next time.
I would do the aviary.
Anyway, not to take away at all from what we did though, because we had a fantastic time at
La Chilangolense.
Yeah,
which we're gonna do a full. And I've been practicing saying that, Jackie. I've been practicing saying the name of your place. So, if it's an all-inclusive beach club. There's tons of them in Mahual, which is a short cab ride down just south of the port. The only issue we ran into there is when we looked it up online. There was one price for a taxi. When we got to the port, the prices for the taxi are a little bit higher.
Even if you watch previous YouTube channels and YouTubers out there who have referred to pricing for the cab ride, let me tell you, it will change. You can argue all you want. You know, obviously, maybe if your Spanish is a little bit better than ours, we might have had a better argument, but we did end up paying a little bit extra for the cab.
Sounds like everybody on our ship.
So did everybody else, and, you know, we just... You know, that is what it was.
The cab is $4 a person. They also have
versus $8 a cab in the recent past.
They also have golf carts available for rent there that you can just drive around. I think in the future that's something we'd consider doing just because it's easier to get around. But again, that was a super cool place. But we made sure we got back to the ship early enough. Was that the night we saw the ice show?
What night are we on right now?
Costa Maya, day 5.
Day 5, I believe so. Yeah, okay, so this is where we ran into the scheduling conflict. So we were supposed to see Greece on day 2. They canceled it day 2, and they auto rescheduled it for day 5. So if you were scheduled for day 2, they said, we're going to reschedule you for day 5. Well, we had already scheduled all of our shows, so day 5, we had already had the ice show booked. See where I'm going here? When they rescheduled us for Greece, it wiped out, unbeknownst to us, our ice show. Now, what ended up happening was Greece was canceled yet again on day 2 or on day 5. Totally fine, no problem. But we didn't know that it canceled out our ice time show. So we go to see, look up our schedule, and we see, oh no, our ice show is gone and it is booked and we can't get in. So Brian went to guest services. We talked to them. They said, show up, see what you can do. Show up at the ice time and see what you can do.
Just show up early.
They were super accommodating. They did get us into the show. We had, fantastic seats and were able to do what we had planned to do. But be aware, if you're going to schedule shows and have them moved around, because that's just the nature of the game right now. If they auto move something on you, it might wipe out your previous schedule, and just be on top of that.
Just be prepared to be flexible is really
you have to be flexible.
But it was a good show. I think I would rank the Aqua show over the Ice show, but it was still really good.
Yeah,
so.
The ice skaters were really, really wonderful, and our daughter is a figure skates, and our sons skate a lot. They play ice hockey. So we really wanted to see the ice show. They were really, really wonderful. Was it 1887, A Journey?
Yeah, it was...
no. That particular show? That didn't necessarily hold my interest.
Yeah, it was...
But the skaters were really, really good.
Really good.
They were really, really good. And I wouldn't have traded not seeing it. So.
No. But that brings us to New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So New Year's Eve, we decided to try...
Which is a sea day, by the way.
It's a sea day. So we decided to take a tip from somebody at... I don't know where we heard this, but they said, go to Johnny Rockets for breakfast. And I think we were one of the only people there. There's a couple other people there, but very, very few. And it was a great breakfast.
We went to Johnny Rockets for breakfast on day 2. We went to Johnny Rockets on New Year's Eve to sit in for the New Year's Eve party.
It all kind of blends together.
It's okay.
But I still recommend going to Johnny Rockets for breakfast, regardless.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
we had a great breakfast.
It worked out really well.
He's right. We had a great breakfast at Johnny Rockets previously, but we sat at Johnny Rockets, which was out, on the deck
in the boardwalk area.
For the New Year's Eve party. We got there early, not on purpose, just because we happened to, and it worked in our favor because we had a great spot. The kids were able to move up and down.
That's another story about
dance
being
and hear the
DJ. Because Greece was canceled for the rest of the week, they tried to have a second aqua show on New Year's Eve. So we went down to the aqua show at the Aqua Theater, and that then got canceled due to some, they said, technical issues. But we later found out that was probably more.
Well, we're assuming we're thinking. Since there was no more aqua shows after that
was probably a quarantine issue.
It was more of a quarantining thing, which is, again, that's okay because everybody's following the policies and procedures. So New Year's Eve was great. I just want to plug here. We felt safe. We felt comfortable. Absolutely. There was multiple New Year's Eve parties. We were outside. Brian was dancing up a storm. We did. If we look at YouTube, we might be able to find him somewhere on there. He is on
a few YouTube channels. We've already been told he might be on Instagram, TikTok. I don't really know. I did try to go live from that party. I think I probably
got flagged
for
music in the background.
A lot of the music, so I didn't. We're still trying to figure that out.
Happy New Year! Yeah. First New Year's of my life. I didn't watch the ball drop in New York.
No, yeah, it was, but it was still fun.
Oh yeah,
a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Again, kids melted, got them off to bed, but that brings us to.
Actually, they didn't melt too bad that night. Yeah, I know they did great. They did great too.
Not until we tried to get in the elevators, but we'll get
there. We can talk to them.
But day 7 was Coco Cay, and we were really excited for Coco Cay. We did have passes to the Thrill Water Park. We went right over there as soon as we were able to dock. Now, we shared Coco Cay that day with Independence of the Seas. So you might see my video from Top Deck when we first docked. But at least I was a tad concerned about crowding with 2 larger ships in port that day. But it wasn't really that bad.
It wasn't. And I think part of the reason that other people have referenced is that neither ship is at full capacity. Right. So having 2 ships there is almost like having 1 ship at full capacity. Right. We had a great time.
Yeah. But the
Thrill Water Park was great.
The advice I would give for Thrill Water Park is make sure you check the heights of your kids before you purchase passes for that. Katie was able to go on not as many slides as she wanted to.
Yeah, but thank God we went because she wasn't able to go on the slides in the ship, and she was really upset about that. So when we got to Thrill Water Park, she was able to do not all of them, but a handful of them.
But enough that she was happy.
And she was happy. Yes. We were happy. Everybody was happy. And the Coco Loco? Coco Loco. That's the drink of the island. So if you're a Royal Caribbean cruiser, you know that on Labadee and on Perfect Day at CocoCay, they have their drink of the island. It's actually the same drink on both islands. Everybody knows. But it's so good that I already looked up the recipe, the cheetah recipe at home, and tried to make it. It was really good. I really enjoyed it.
If you ask Julie for it in the comments, I'm sure she'll get a recipe out there for you. So
I'll share the one that I made. But it still wasn't as good as the one I had there, but it was pretty darn close.
But we spent some time at the water park, and then we spent some time over at the Chill Beach side, and then we did spend a little time in the Oasis Lagoon. And the only advice I would give there is, that's a lot to do on that island, so don't plan on trying to do it all in one day. If you want to see different parts of that island, just slow down and enjoy it. It's a great island, so don't try and do it all in one day. Just enjoy it. I mean,
that's good advice.
Well, we tried to do it all in one day because we wanted to see it all so we could tell you all about it. But yeah, we wanted to tell everybody.
He's like, I want
about
to do the.
Yeah.
You wanted to do so much, and I'm like, you actually took me by surprise then. But we had a great time. We went to the snack shack for lunch. We had the chicken sandwich, which was very good. And I was a little surprised. We'll bring it right back around to cruising with kids. We got to the beach, and the kids were just having so much fun playing in the sand. All three of them, 6, 7, and 10, and they each got a plastic cup, just a regular water cup, and they were building sandcastles galore and just having the time of their life. And we're like, guys, you want to go to the pool? Guys, you want to go back? Like, they just wanted to play in the sand.
So
they didn't want to go to the ocean.
Parent tip: if you need sand toys, order extra drinks.
Or go get a water cup. Yeah, but they had a blast.
Yeah.
And we did too, just sitting there watching them. So,
but we got back on the ship pretty easily. That was the only time we actually even waited a little bit to get back on the ship. But I think that's just because everybody waited till the last minute to get back on the ship because, I mean, it's just a great place to be. And
let's face it, they're not going to leave you on Coco Cay.
Right. No. So the one thing that we did experience in Coco Cay, and I don't think we have any video of it, but that is where Vision of the Seas did come over, and any of the quarantined or sick crew did transfer off of our ship, off of Harmony, onto Vision of the Seas.
We don't have any video of that, and I'm not upset about that.
No. That's okay.
But we did watch a lot of, if you're new to cruising, you can pretty much always find a Facebook group with everybody cruising on your sailing. And everybody kind of corresponds before they get on the ship, while they're on the ship, after they're on the ship. We're still talking to people and seeing posts on our Facebook group from our particular cruise. So we were December 26th, 2021 to January 2nd, 2022 on the Harmony of the Seas. So reading the comments in there were a number of people on our ship that watched the crew transfer over to the Vision of the Seas. Is that
I think
what
it was
the Vision of the Seas? Because their policy and procedure is to get the crew off the ship if they are a positive case.
Yeah. Now, we don't know exactly how many crew it was. I did ask at guest services. That's not a number that Royal Caribbean will share with us.
They would not tell us.
So we didn't know how many passengers were sick. We don't know how many crew were sick. We know there were some.
We did ask,
and we do wish all of them their best. And to the best of everything we've heard, everyone is recovered and doing well. So hopefully that's the case. We don't have any other information on that. So we wish everyone the best and all that. But that brings us to the end of our trip, and coming back into port in Port Canaveral on the last day. We had a disembarkation time of 8:30. We put our luggage out the night before. Packing up 3 kids can be...
Yeah. Can I say my one thing? Like,
pain.
Packing and unpacking. And we had adjoining rooms. So, 6 suitcases for the 5 of us. Unpacking and packing that stuff is crazy. We had to do it really quick the night of. But that was my biggest concern. And I'm gonna get all kinds of hate comments on this one or whatever. Obviously, I'm concerned for everybody's health and everything else. But all I could think of is, oh my God, if we had to pack everything up to be moved, to be quarantined in any kind of way, shape, or form, there's just stuff everywhere.
Yeah, we don't have good advice on that one. But
if you got some pro packing tips, and you know what, we know about the hooks. We have the hooks. We know about the shoe containers on the back of the doors. We know about all that stuff. But if you just have any advice
our kids don't put stuff away at home. They're not going to put it away on a cruise ship. So if you got better advice for that, drop it down in the comments for us, and we'll take your advice. So
yeah.
But ultimately, it was a great trip. We had a blast. We can't wait to share all the videos with you guys. Hats off and huge accolades to all the people we met along the way. But if I had to ask you, what were your main pros of the trip? Let's wrap it up with, what were your main pros? Pros first.
Hello. We were on a cruise.
Yeah, man.
First time in how many years? First time after being canceled. How many times? It was our kids' first cruise. It had been quite a while. Well, we went in September, but
right.
It had been a while since we've been able to cruise. Too long.
Well, we only have 2.
We were on a
cruises
cruise.
booked right now.
We were on a cruise. So, you know what?
But yeah, it was a blast. The kids loved it. We have a love of cruising, and we were hoping that our kids would love it too, and they certainly did. So we're excited to get them involved in planning the next cruise and planning
I'm
the
gonna
next.
plug right here too. Like, dude, if you're one of those people who are on a cruise and can find nothing to do but complain, don't go on a cruise. Like, or at least don't go on my cruise, because I'm there to have a good time, and I don't want to hear your complaining. Sorry.
But pros, since we were talking about the pros,
You're right, pros.
What a fantastic crew. And I mean, I think I've said that on just about every ship I've ever gotten off of. They work so hard. They love it. We love being involved with them. We love talking to them. We love, and now having this vlog to be able to connect with them and to be able to connect them with their families was just something really fun for us, and we really enjoyed it. So that was really cool. What else? The crew
is always amazing. The ports, we had awesome ports.
Western Caribbean cruise had some really good ports. We really liked Roatan. We really liked Costa Maya. I can never say a bad thing at Cozumel. And what could you say bad about Coco Cay? It's a perfect day.
Easy on, easy off.
We did luck out with weather. Yeah. We didn't have any bad weather.
We didn't have one spot of rain, nothing.
Fantastic. So, definitely positive there. And I guess the other pro, like I said, with the kids was like,
I'm so proud of our kids. I mean, as a parent, you want to show them things, you want to get them to experience different places and cultures and whatever, and you never know what you're gonna get, and you're traveling with 3 kids, but they were so good. They really, really were, and they really took it in. Yeah. Brian was he's our oldest,
so at the
independent than we ever expected him to be.
At the risk of getting judged in the comments, I mean, he's 10 years old, and we weren't sure how comfortable we would be about letting him kind of move around the ship himself, and he at one point said, "Hey, Dad," he asked you, I forget, I want to go down to Sorrento's and grab a pizza. And we were like, all right, let's let him try this. How far could he get? So we let him try it, and he went all the way down. He got his pizza and came back to the room. And and after that, we were like, you know what? We're comfortable with him kind of moving around a little bit, and we're excited for the next cruises we have coming up, where we're gonna have some of our friends with us. And
because
just makes us a little bit more confident
with his friends,
in them getting around the ship. So that was definitely a pro. But,
definitely. And Katie and Kevin had a blast. I mean, Katie was a little upset when she couldn't do things, but then super quickly rebounded, and as long as she could get on cone count number, I don't know, umpteen,
9
she was good.
One day,
I don't know.
But there were some cons.
I'm just gonna wrap up the pros though with what a great family vacation and family fun.
Lots of families travel. There were a lot of families. There were definitely a lot of families on that ship. Yeah. And I would take another Oasis class ship because of the clientele. Like, there was a lot of families traveling on that ship.
Quantum class too, but
there were a lot of families with kids. So I mean, it was a good environment for us and for our kids. So I liked that.
Given the nature and the climate of just the world right now. I was super comfortable. I felt super safe. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I have no regrets, no reservations, and if you are questioning, thinking, wondering, should you cruise, is cruising right for you, whether you have kids or not, feel free, drop a comment. Feel free to question us on Facebook. We have our Facebook group. We'll answer any questions we can for you, because.
But that said, we have seen a lot of comments on other channels about, I love this ship, I didn't like this ship. What I would say is that my opinion of Harmony of the Seas or an Oasis class ship is that it is, I would say it's kind of designed for families. So if you're not looking to cruise with that type of environment, you might want to pick a different ship. But if you do have kids, it's a great ship for kids. I would definitely encourage
it is a good ship. But I also think it's a good ship for anybody.
It really is.
It's not limited to kids. It's definitely not.
there's definitely
the rock climbing was awesome. And
I mean there were parts
flow
of the
rider.
There were parts of the ship that we didn't even get to see. We didn't spend any time in on air or in the solarium or in the jazz club, but anyway,
29 minutes.
Yeah,
so
way too long. So let's
we're dropping
people are probably falling
I know
asleep.
they're like whatever. So let's talk about the cons really quick,
because this is what there were some things that you need to know about cruising in 2020 in this environment in during a pandemic.
It's 2022. This was a New Year's cruise in 2022. Pandemic. We had to be vaccinated. Kids did not have to be vaccinated, but our kids were. No judgment whether you are or aren't or whatever. Don't really care.
But
we were. So let's just talk about the climate of what you're signing up for when you cruise in 2022.
So to start off with, the app didn't recognize the fact that our kids were vaccinated. So that just made a little bit of a hiccup for booking shows.
It was challenging because,
and we went to we did make multiple phone calls to Royal Caribbean before we left to make sure that it was designated. We had to change our dining time, which actually
when we got on the ship, because they kept telling us no, you have kids, you can't go on the vaccinated whatever, and we kept saying all 5 of us are fully vaccinated.
Which that was just a blessing in disguise. So another shout out to Zip. He gets 2 shout outs on one video. So, but that just kind of worked out. But
it did work out. But
we went to guest services to say, hey, we need to update this in our app, and they said, don't worry about it. Just book it for the 2 of us as a vaccinated, and just bring the kids with you. And to me, with their limiting capacity, I was a little concerned about that. But I mean, it worked out.
It did work out.
But it was definitely something that, as a parent...
It's a hiccup and a glitch in their system.
Yeah. But it was all right.
So it worked out, but just be aware of it.
So what else do we have? What else was a challenge?
Let's just talk about the elevator protocols for a minute.
So elevators, it's no more than 6 people in an elevator or your entire party.
If you're all together, you're in the same party.
Correct.
So we're a family of 5.
Mm-hmm. So we would we would push a button for an elevator. Now, again, we're healthy people. We're if you can take the stairs, it's definitely a lot easier.
Healthy, right? So everybody has to test before they get on the ship.
No, that's not what I meant.
I know. But, you mean we can take the
so
stairs.
if you're capable of taking the stairs, a lot of times it's easier to take the stairs. We try to take the stairs as often as we can if you're only going a couple floors. But when you're traveling with young melting kids who are falling asleep on your shoulder,
and a broken toe or 2,
or maybe broken
maybe a broken toe.
Sometimes it's easier to take an elevator, and we did experience several elevators opening up where there was supposed to be no more than 6 people in there, and there were 20 people in the elevator who were totally cool with that, and we're cool with that. Like if that's what you're comfortable with, then that's fine with
I want
us.
to say this, we were very respectful for whatever
Absolutely.
your comfort level was. And I think most of the people on board
Absolutely.
were the same way. So if, I think people for the most part respected each other's level of comfort. Some people were more comfortable with allowing more than the recommended 6 people on, and some people were definitely not. Being a family of 5, if the elevator doors open and there was anybody other than one other person on the elevator, technically, it was interpreted differently. Some people would be like, oh, well, you're all in the same party. We're a party of 2 or 3. Of course you can come on. Yeah. But they wouldn't want 20 people in the elevator.
And
That's
to
cool.
those people who invited us on, I'd like to say thank you.
Thank you.
To those handful of people who were less than welcoming.
Well, we weren't...
I'm not going to say thank you.
Stop. If you're a party of 2 and we're trying to get on with our party of 5, all from the same family and 3 little kids, to go up 7 floors or something like that, but again, whatever the level of comfort is, we were respectful. I think we'd appreciate this.
Just be polite.
Just be polite. Yeah, the same level of respect in return, regardless of how you feel. So we had no problem deferring if that's what people wished.
Now, one of the things that cruising...
Stressful, though. We're talking about cons, right? So stressful. The elevators were stressful. Just hitting the darn button was stressful. You know, we're all there to just be on vacation and have a good time.
Now, where we're at, masking is required in all indoor areas, which, you know, our kids do that in school and we do it at work. So it's not a...
Nothing new.
It was hard. It wasn't new. It wasn't an inconvenience. But, you know, obviously, if you're on vacation, you don't really want to be walking around in a mask. So that, you know, we'll call that a con.
Everybody's different.
We'll call that a con. But
no, I'm not going to call it a con, actually, because I actually want to say this. Like, we signed up to take a cruise where masking is part of the policies and procedure. Nobody twisted our arm and said, take a cruise.
Nope.
Nobody twisted our arm and said, go on vacation. We said, we still want to go. We said, okay, we understand what we're signing up for. I was okay with wearing a mask whenever they wanted us to. I'm not even going to get into my own personal beliefs or what I think or what I want, whatever. All I know is that I was a paying customer and I signed up to go on a cruise and they asked me to wear a mask when I was in their public areas. And, okay. Period. So it wasn't a con for me.
No. So basically what it comes down to is that, you know, we're living in a world right now where there are some additional rules and there are some additional protocols. And we know that the CDC came out with some new guidance just the other day, or actually even possibly today, praising the cruise lines for how clean they are and for how well they're cooperating with the protocols. Okay. Yeah. You were... Yeah, you missed that. But yeah, they did. So
I've been busy.
The cruise lines have been praised. So if you're considering taking a cruise right now, and you like cruising, I say book it. I felt very comfortable. I know you said you felt very comfortable.
On the same note, if you're not comfortable or you're unsure, don't go.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Don't go. Don't ruin your vacation. Don't waste your money. Don't set off your aggravation levels. Don't ruin your own vacation and don't ruin anybody else's.
That's what I was exactly thinking. So
go if you want to go. You'll have a great time and it is worth it. And if you don't want to go, that is okay too. Don't go.
But what's it like to cruise during a pandemic right now? I mean, it's a cruise. It's a cruise. It's pretty much the same as it's pretty much the same as everything else has always been with you know, limited capacity, spacing out a little bit, wearing some masks. There's still people fighting over chairs at the pool.
There are, yeah.
There's still people arguing over elevators.
Even though there's an abundance of chairs, it doesn't even matter.
The greatest crew in the world.
Hold on, two tips, right? So the first would be prepared if you're going to cruise right now and potentially losing a port, potentially losing entertainment. Be prepared that it may not be exactly as what you want. So again, if you're not okay with that, it's probably not the best time to cruise for you. The second thing that I would say is just have flexibility in general.
Yeah.
You know, like whatever may happen. If, you know, you're the type of person who wants the same waiter every night, know that your waiter may get switched out. Know that if there's a show that if you're going on a ship because you really want to see a certain show, if you want to see Grease, if you want to see Cats, if you want to see, you know, whatever show it is that you want to see, it potentially could be canceled or postponed. And
that's not something that your travel insurance or your cruise line is going to cover for you.
It's also not new to a pandemic as well. You know, there's been plenty of other times where, you know, due to weather or whatever other reasons, a cruise ship has had to deviate from its itinerary. So that is something that has always been part of cruising. So, you know.
But ultimately, I would say, even with all those things, the pros definitely outweigh the cons. We have multiple cruises booked coming up. We can't wait to go. We can't wait to share it with you. I'm going to kick Julie off this channel right now and get her to go editing because we have a ton of content from that trip that we want to share with you right now. And if you want to see that content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn on that notification bell so you know exactly when Julie posts it up so you can be the first one to see it. We're approaching that 500 subscriber mark, and we want to see if we can cross that line, and we want you to help us do it. So like this video. It does help out the channel. It helps us get on more cruises. It helps us bring more content to you. And
who would have thunk, right? Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it?
That we'd have 500 subscribers by January when we started this, I don't know, a few months ago. And we love it. And we watch all the other cruisers all the other YouTubers out there. And we support every single one of them. And we love everybody's individual personality.
And it's a great community to be in. People have already reached out to us. I think one of the most fun things that's happened to me so far is somebody on the Harmony said, "Hey, aren't you guys those YouTubers?" And I'm like looking behind me, like, well, who they're talking to. But yeah, I guess they.
So fun.
So that's kind of fun, and we're glad that we're able to bring some content to you guys about cruising with kids, and we hope it helps you plan your vacation. We hope it helps you have a better time, and we want to meet you too. So drop a note in the comments. Come cruise with us. Like the video, share it with your friends.
2022 has got some awesome things coming. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
You are not going to believe it. How Cruise is just in its infancy. And
so drop a comment.
Yeah,
let us know what
wait.
you want to see. Let us know if you want to go on a group cruise with How We Cruise, because we want to do it with you. So again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on that notification bell, and
see you on the seas.
We'll see you on the seas.